it's going to work being done virtually. It's going to have a different take on it for sure. It does take the excitement out of it. Takes a lot of things out of it, the way that it's being done. At the same time, I am curious to know, how is this going to also possibly change the draft for the future as well? What are they going to take from it that they can use later on? So there's a lot of different factors that I'm interested to see how it's going to work, the glitches, things that might happen. You mentioned a few of those that can possibly be, but also going forward, how it's going to change the draft.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, too, what changes can be made and how it's going to look going forward. But honestly, I'm just hoping we get football. In all honesty, I think that's the first big sport that'll come along. I think pros will play for sure. I don't think the college kids are going to play until spring. I really don't. And as I said last week, I wouldn't put my kid out there and let him play and risk his life just for, a free education, because it's not free. They're working for it. So I don't know if I would like that. But I think the pros are going to go for it. Honestly, Joanna, what I really think is going to happen is in about another 2 weeks, we see it with Vegas. They're about to open up casinos. Georgia opened up everything today for the most part. I really think there are people out there that are saying, you know what? Hell, did you ever see A Day After Tomorrow? When the world froze over?
I vaguely remember that movie, but...
Okay. What do you remember when it got real? Okay. So it was supposed to be this is what happened if we don't take care of the world. The world will come back and get us, and the United States froze. There was basically an ice age that instantly rolled through. But to make a long story short, there's a scene in the movie where they think it's safe. So they're like, if we stay in, we'll die anyway. So let's just go out and go for it. So they go out and they go for it. And then this ice age, the temperature drops to like minus 150, 200, whatever. And basically everyone that went for it froze to death. The people that stayed inside and kept the fireplace burning, they were fine until help came. I think people are starting to get that same type cabin fever, saying, well, if we stay inside, we're not going to work, we're not going to make money, we're not going to pay our bills. What the hell, let's just go for it. And I'm curious to see how sports plays off of that. Because it's one thing if you are a bank teller to say, screw it, I got to pay rent, I'm going to go for it. But if you're in the world of sports, I don't have to go for it to spend $80 to go to a game. I may consider it's risky enough for me to go to work. I don't want to go sit among 60,000 people. So I'm curious how sports plays off of that. But if anything has a shot for it, I definitely think it's football, because it's not until September. And I'm going to kind of jump ahead a little bit, because I know you mentioned one of the topics was talking about trades. And I'm interested to see how that works in with trades, because I'm not saying Tom Brady is Baker Mayfield by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a 43-year-old quarterback that has to go and learn a new system with a new QB, with new players that he can't work out with, that when they finally get together, he's going to be behind the curve. And we all know defense goes faster than offense anyway. And in New England, the teams in that division were god-awful terrible. And this division, Drew Brees is familiar with his guys. Matt Ryan is familiar with his guys. They're all familiar. If you start out 0-2 or say 1-3 in Tampa Bay, are you going to catch the Saints? Are you going to catch the Falcons? See, I'm not just ready to say, well, they got Brady, they got Gronk, here we go, let's go, hand it over. Yeah, those are great trades. But, hold on a second. Pump your brakes. They may be good trades, maybe a good free agent signing, but will they get a chance to practice with each other? That's going to make a difference. 43-year-old quarterback, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's a whole different game there, where you're mentioning it. We've seen it in the news, and, Tom Brady trying to go out and get some movement, get some practice, and get going and get out there, just wants to do something. So I don't remember if he got cited or didn't get cited, but for just trying to go out there and just trying to stay active. And yeah, a lot of these players is going to probably be a little bit rusty. They're going to have that. If they don't have that that training that they get in, that starts in the summer. That does say summer because it still is summer, not fall. Then if they push out the season, which like Tony Dungy was saying the other day, was that he doesn't see NFL coming back until just the regular season, so about September, maybe September, more likely October, later in the year. So even if players have to wait until then, or even just wait until then to just get active, what is that going to do to the season too? So if there is a season, the player, mentioning the players, getting the practice in, getting to know, Brady, like you mentioned, new team, Gronk, he's back, and yes, they're reunited and back together again, but whole different system. They're in a now in a division where they all know each other. It's not in the Patriots where you can just blow by. It's gonna put up a fight, and what is that gonna do to Tom Brady as well? You mentioned the age. How is that? He already saw that was already taking a toll on his body this last season, and he how he sat out some of those games. How is that gonna affect him this season? Is it still an issue? Is he in a better place now? Is it something that was said, but it was actually something else? The way he sat out those games. There can be a lot of things. We know the reason why Gronk was he decided to retire, and that's coming to light, and now he's back with Brady. So a lot of things I'm interested to see how they're going to play out. Should and when NFL does come back.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And more interesting will be, too, is in Major League Baseball. So there's been some, as we've seen, the rumors, the hearsays about MLB returning. So there's the 3 states, dividing MLB within 3 states. There's maybe 2 states, or there's a lot of different scenarios that can be played out. And how that's going to work, travel-wise. That's, are they going to really want to take that risk factor if they're going to play within those 3 states? If they do decide to go with that, Florida, Texas, and Arizona, those are the ones being mentioned. Are they just going to put them in, put a different scenario out there, and they're only going to play these games? These teams are going to play only, against each other in these 3 states, and there's not going to be any traveling. How are they going to handle all that? I'm just very interested to see. And with MLB coming back too, is with the return and things that I see that are being done in China with basketball now. Baseball back in play. They're playing without spectators. They're going to be doing that for a while. So they're taking proactive measures, sanitation, hygiene. It's changing to testing as well. And what that all means for baseball, and how that's going to be changing for a while, not only for the players, but everybody involved and even the media. So there's a lot of, aspects that come into play.
I know that South Korea is starting its league, but it's going to be different. It's going to be a lot different. And it's athletes are different everywhere than here. And okay, I'll say it like this. If you win an Olympic gold medal here, it's great. You did it for your country, and it was great, and it was awesome. But when you win a gold medal for China or for South Korea, it trumps the basketball league. And I don't care what any NBA player will tell you or any Major League Baseball player will tell you. If you gave a Major League Baseball player, an American-born Major League Baseball player, an option of winning a World Series or a gold medal, what do you think they take?
World Series.
World Series. Give an NBA player the option of winning an NBA title or a gold medal. What do you think they take?
Title.
The title. Whereas in Korea, it's different. The government runs a lot more stuff. So will we really know the numbers? Will we really know the effect? Will we really know what's going on? I think that'll be all different. I really do. So I'm interested to see, but I'm interested to see if we hear the truth when it comes out.
Yeah, and when we are seeing those changes, in Asia, in Europe, they've been staying in and staying safe and trying to stay healthy, and now in shutdown for 3-4 months now. And here we have your U.S. president wanting to already lift the orders, and like you said, having casinos opening again, having people go out into stores or opening places up, opening businesses up, and we've only been in this barely even a month in. So we see those differences there in how that's, we see the numbers, we see, do we really know it? We have these countries doing this, however, this country's doing this, and is it safe and is it the right thing to do? Only the numbers and time and the stats will tell. But one of the things that I do when baseball does come back around, and we know when it comes back around to us, we know that it's going to be without fans for a while. The fans are going to be lonely, and it's only going to be the players out there. But until fans can come back and cheer on their favorite team, and we can be all together again. One thing that I thought was very cool was the Nationals are going to wait for their fans so they can go ahead and display their World Series banner. I thought that was just cool. Amazing. So
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So
but
it just speaks volumes for the team and their fans.
They may be waiting for a while because I will say this. I thought the baseball idea of coming out here seemed halfway decent. I don't, honestly, from what I'm hearing from some players, they're not trying to leave their family for 4 months and stay quarantined.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We may not see baseball for a little while. And you know what the other part is? The fans. We keep saying the fans. The media may not come back for a while. Because think about it. If you allow the media to interview the players, don't the media have to be quarantined?
Mhm. Yep.
Unless you're doing it on Zoom or something of that nature.
Yeah, like we mentioned last week. Yeah. How that's going to affect it too.
Curious. Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of curiosity out there, but we'll pull through this together, as we always do. We don't have sports to help us along with that like we typically do, but we do have still in a way do have sports to kind of still keep us together. But I know I'm anxious, but it's better to be safe and keep those numbers low, and hopefully we can get back out there soon.
Yep.
So, well, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day. As always, I always love having you on.
Of course, always. This is always great.
And then this is not all for the week, although it's a little bit shorter show than it normally is. We'll be bringing you more on Saturday. We'll be doing a recap of the NFL draft to everyone, so stay tuned for that. Until then, we wish everybody a good night. At PLR, where can followers find you?
PLR on sports. And sometime I go on these tangents, so you'll never know what I'm going to talk about. Just because it says on sports doesn't mean it's not PLR all sports. It's PLR on sports. And I have a whole lot of thoughts. Just went on a rant today about T-Mobile. Ain't happy with T-Mobile. So you'll never know what I'm going to tweet.
Always a great follow, though. I love it.
Well, thank you.
And you can find us insights support